Listen closely because what I'm about to reveal will fundamentally change how you look at attraction. Most men dedicate years to chasing women, going to extraordinary lengths, seeking validation, only to find themselves frustrated, bewildered, and alone. But what if I told you there's a hidden spark in every woman's psyche, a psychological lever that, once pulled, compels her to chase you? What if I told you that men who understand this don't just draw women in, they command respect, inspire fascination, and shape the interaction without ever saying a word? This isn't about deceit or games, it's the raw truth about how female desire functions. Master this, and you'll never struggle with attraction again. In the next few minutes, I'll unveil 3 profound psychological insights that separate the men who women merely accept from those they can't stop thinking about. These insights have forged kingdoms, shattered bonds, and birthed legends across time. They're rooted in science, not guesswork. But be cautioned. What you're about to discover will upend everything you've been taught about relationships. Once you see it, clearly you can't go back to being the unaware, eager man you once were. If you're ready to harness the power that makes women pursue you, invest in you, and fight to keep you, stay sharp, this is where your journey begins. Let's start with something elemental, etched so deeply into human nature that ignoring it will keep you struggling with women, no matter how much effort you pour in. Women don't fall in love because of what you own or what you achieve. They fall in love because of how you make them feel. This isn't a superficial strategy, it's grounded in psychology and biology, the way humans are wired. Reflect on this. When a woman thinks back to the men who left the deepest mark on her life, who comes to mind? The man who bought her expensive gifts? The one who flooded her with praise? Or the man who made her pulse quicken, kept her curious, and ignited something she couldn't fully grasp? That's the difference between a man who's merely there and one who carves a place in her emotional memory. Why do emotions outweigh logic in attraction? Because emotions connect to the subconscious mind. You can spend hours explaining why you're a great partner, dependable, accomplished, compassionate, but if she doesn't feel it, none of it matters. The heart doesn't care about resumes, it seeks experiences, excitement, and the thrill of something dynamic and alive. This is why good men often falter, not because goodness is weak, but because they misjudge what fuels attraction. They think, if I show her how much I care, if I prove my loyalty, she'll see my value. But desire isn't a deal. It's not about fairness, it's about awakening something within her that she can't dismiss. So, what's the critical emotion that triggers this response? It's anticipation, the feeling that there's more to you than she can fully grasp. When a woman can't entirely predict you, when she senses complexity and wonders what's truly on your mind, you become irresistible. That's when she starts investing her thoughts in you. Once she's emotionally hooked, genuine attraction takes root. This isn't about manipulation. It's about recognizing that humans are drawn to what challenges them, not just what comforts them. A relationship built solely on comfort becomes dull, but one with tension, intrigue, and room for her imagination to thrive remains electric. Ask yourself, are you making her think, or are you making her feel? Are you just another predictable presence, or do you stir something deeper? If you want to be unforgettable, that's the question that counts. Once you understand this, everything shifts. Now, go out there and give her something to feel. Let's tackle one of the sneakiest attraction killers, something so subtle most men don't see it until it's too late. Predictability, the quiet thief of intrigue. The moment a woman feels she has you entirely figured out, you become replaceable. Why? Because humans, and women especially, are wired to crave novelty, challenge, and emotional depth. When you become predictable, you erase all 3. Think about how boredom operates in the mind. When something becomes too familiar, too easily grasped, the brain stops caring. It's not personal, it's biological. Dopamine, the chemical linked to pleasure and drive, isn't sparked by the expected. It's ignited by the uncertain, by what keeps the mind engaged in exploration. This is why routines smother passion. Men who reveal everything too soon, their emotions, plans, insecurities, end up seen as kind but uninspiring. It's not that she doesn't value you, it's that you've left nothing for her to discover. Compare that to men who linger in a woman's thoughts long after they're gone. They weren't always more attractive or wealthier. They mastered the art of restraint. They didn't flood her with attention or confess their feelings too early. They didn't make their entire identity hinge on her approval. Instead, they left space for her imagination to fill in the blanks, and imagination is where attraction flourishes. This isn't about being dishonest. It's about giving her room to wonder, question, and project her desires onto the canvas you provide. Neediness kills attraction because a needy man is predictable. He responds instantly to every message, reshapes his life for her whims, and seeks constant validation, eliminating the tension that makes interactions thrilling. Tension isn't about playing games, it's about preserving independence, so your presence feels like a choice, not a necessity. It's the difference between I'm here because I choose to be and I'm here because I'm scared to be elsewhere. One is captivating, the other is tragic. Think of the most compelling stories. They don't reveal everything in the opening scene. They unfold slowly, rewarding patience and making you lean in to see what happens next. You're the author of your own narrative. If you give away the entire plot in the first conversation, why should she stay? But if you reveal yourself in layers, if she senses there's more beneath the surface, she'll invest time to uncover it. Investment builds attachment. How do you avoid predictability? First, build a life so rich and dynamic that no single person, not even her, can fully contain it. Second, practice measured sharing. Reveal yourself gradually, not all at once. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Most importantly, maintain emotional independence so she never feels she has you completely figured out. The moment she does, you're no longer a mystery. You're a known entity. And known entities don't inspire passion. They inspire indifference. Here's the truth. Predictability is the enemy of desire. To hold her attention, stay just beyond her full understanding. Not distant, not cold, but always one step ahead, giving her just enough to keep her craving more. That's how you become unforgettable. Now go out there and give her something she can't predict. Let's get to the heart of what separates men who are merely liked from those who are deeply desired. The difference between being an option and becoming the prize. This isn't about arrogance or tactics. It's about a core truth of human psychology. Value is tied to scarcity, both real and perceived. When you position yourself as someone who chooses, not someone who pleads to be chosen, everything changes. Your energy, your presence, the way women respond to you. Consider how we assign worth elsewhere. A rare gem commands a fortune. A limited edition watch becomes a collector's prize. An exclusive event gains allure because not everyone gains entry. The same applies to you. If you're always available, always accommodating, always signaling that her attention is your world's focus, you're not a rare treasure, you're a commodity, and commodities are overlooked. Contrast that with a man who knows his value. He isn't defined by one woman's opinion because his worth comes from within. He has a purpose that outweighs seeking validation. He sets standards rather than begging for affection. This isn't detachment. It's the quiet confidence of someone who brings something substantial to the table. That confidence is magnetic. It creates intrigue and makes her wonder, what does he have that I don't yet see? That question keeps her invested. Here's a vital insight. Women don't challenge men out of malice. They challenge because they're wired to seek resilience. When she pushes to see if you'll waver or pulls back to see if you'll pursue, she's testing for weakness. A man who panics at the first hint of distance or rushes to reassure her fails, not because he cares, but because he's insecure. Insecurity repels attraction. But a man who remains steady, who meets her shifts with calm, passes in ways that resonate deeply. He shows emotional strength, the ability to stay grounded regardless of her moods. That earns her respect and makes her want to earn your approval, not take it for granted. A man who can't manage his own emotions can't be trusted to handle hers. Neediness is fatal because it signals a lack of purpose. A man who revolves around a woman's world suggests he has no greater mission, no life of his own. No woman wants to be the center of a universe that small. She wants to join a man who's going somewhere, not one waiting for her to give his life meaning. Your job isn't to convince her of your worth. It's to live in a way that makes your worth undeniable. How do you become the prize? First, cultivate genuine substance, skills, passions, goals unrelated to women. Second, set boundaries that reflect self-respect. Third, be willing to walk away when treated as an option, not a priority, not as punishment, but as a natural outcome of knowing your value. When you're willing to lose her rather than compromise your standards, you shift the dynamic. Suddenly, she's proving herself to you. The balance of power isn't about caring less. It's about having more options, not just with people, but with life itself. A man immersed in meaningful pursuits, surrounded by purpose, always has leverage, not because he's manipulative, but because he's whole with or without her. That wholeness makes her want to be part of your world. Here's the truth they won't tell you. Women don't fall for men who need them. They fall for men who inspire them, men who represent a challenge worth rising to, men who push them to grow. If you want to be that man, stop chasing, start building, stop pleading, start leading. Stop asking for a seat at her table. Build one worth inviting her to. Now go out there and make yourself the prize.